Hello there, T-Mac here, Loft of the Outdoors, and as usual I got a dead critter on the old meat pole, and I've been getting a lot of requests on videos on self-processing. People are wanting to get into self-processing, and that's awesome. I tell you what, the meat tastes much better. I don't know if it's a mental thing or if it just does, because you've done it yourself and you can keep the meat clean. It's meat that you know is yours, and it's pretty simple. I mean, it can be intimidating sitting here looking at it for the first time, but I promise you it ain't that bad. Of course, I have some Walmart sacks over here ready, staged up, and a good sharp knife. That's all I need right now. Walmart sacks, I know you got them. If you do this a lot, you'll have a sack full of sacks hanging somewhere. I got it in my shop. For this, of course, I'm using Raptor razor. You know, stick with the best, man. This is the all-purpose blade, and it's got this really cool point on it that kind of edges up. Really great for deboning meat and processing. But here we go. First, I'm going to take out the shoulders. There's nothing holding this shoulder to this carcass. There's no joints or nothing. A little bit of hair there. Pick that off. So basically all I'm going to do is right here, make a cut. Open that up. And it goes all the way back here to the shoulder blade. Just cutting in there, following that shoulder. Boy, that's some thick fat, golly. Just peeling that out. And what I always do is come down, and then I start getting real close to the hide right here, real close to the ribs, and I'll take the neck meat too. Just getting real close to that neck. That way I'm getting all that neck meat. Of course, this is all for summer sausage, but you can also make neck roast out of this bit of neck here hanging on the shoulder. That's it. Shoulders off. Here's going to be our back strap right here. Now, looks like we're going to might have a little bit of meat damage. We'll check it out a little more when we get in there, but this is the piece that everybody talks about right down through here. And in here, I've already got these out, but right here is where the inner tenders, people call them. Some people call them, I call them inside tenders. Some people call them hanging tenders. Everybody's, seems like no matter where you go, they got a different name for them. But those are, there's a little piece of meat that hangs right in here. It's just like a piece of backstrap, except way tenderer. And you can just pull that out with your hands. You really don't even need a lot in a knife. You can just make a cut right here, peel those out with your hands. Those come out first. I don't let those hang. They dry up way too fast. Pull them out immediately. That and the heart come out immediately. Turn this sucker here, and the way this works is there's a hip bone right here, and that's what we're going to start at. It's usually right about here is the cutoff mark for the back strap. And you're going to go right down the spine. Just keep your knife up against that spine. It'll guide it. Go all the way down. So now we got a mark here. We'll do it the other side. That back strap rolls right around in here somewhere. If it wasn't all this fat, you could see it. So I just kind of cut around and down. Get it started. Now what you're going to do I was on the wrong side of the spine. And you're going to follow the top of them ribs. It looks like I'm going to lose a little backstrap right here. God, there's a bone. If you don't shoot them high like that, you don't have to worry about that. But look, I'm keeping some of it, looks like. Oh, that's cold. Then I'm gonna just pull with my hands. Then I'm gonna leave all this behind. All that sinew. Golly. I'm gonna try and save as much of that backstrap right there as I can. Alright, so got both our back straps out. Forgot to push record for the second one, sorry. This one was pretty tough because it had some shot up in it. This one came out pretty clean. Just like the other one. Start here, fillet it down along the ribs. When you get here, pull it out with your hand, and then you want to leave all this stuff behind. Oops. Alright, so the hams you can do two ways. You can take it out the joint, and then you got to mess with the feet. You know, skin that back down or cut them off, whatever. I don't do that. I don't mess with the shanks on the back legs. I leave that on the carcass. I go ahead and do this boneless. I don't want any bone in anything that I'm using. That's just my personal preference. Cutting through bone, if you've ever smelt cutting through bone, it can impart a little bit of bone dust in your meat, and that can give it a little off flavor. So I don't even mess with it. I come back here as high up as I want, catch a lot of that meat right there, and I just come back towards the knee. Then I'm gonna trace around below the knee and connect my cuts. So I've ringed the meat right here above the knee, and some of that shank you can pull off right here, put that in the grind bin. Do it on both sides. Now we've ringed our meat there. We're going to come in right up here, right above the paunch, cut in. Now, on the hind quarter right here, there's a little bone that comes out, the pelvis. We're going to cut in, find it, and go around it, just like that. Can y'all see that? And we're going to go over to the center. We come in, we've gone around the pelvis. Do that on both sides. That's what your cut's going to kind of look like. Now, right here's your knee. Your ball socket's right in here. So you got your knee right here, and there's a bone running right through here. You're gonna poke in right where all this muscle tissue's kind of coming at an angle right here, right in from the knee. If you want to, just where your cut is, find that bone and trace it, poke it, pop, 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 pop. Keep your knife on that bone. We're going to come in here, we're going to connect the cuts. Alright, so let's just open this up. Do you see that bone? There it is. That bone right there. And we're just going to trim around it. We're going to fillet the meat off that bone. Just like that. See how we open that up? There's our bone. I'm going to do it on both sides. Brought you in a little closer so you can kind of see what's going on. We've got the bone exposed here. This is your one of your roast, and this is where all your roast and steaks can come from, is your back quarter. But unfortunately I need summer sausage meat, so that's where this is going. But what I do is when I get this bottom piece broke off, I get my Raptor Razor meat hook. I go ahead and stab that sucker in there, because you do not want this thing hitting the ground, I promise you. It's too good a meat to have hit the ground. And what I do is I come behind here, I pull back, I roll the meat back, and I just cut. I'm skinning off as much of that meat from that bone as I can. And now we're going to get down to the pelvis. We're going to skirt around it. And now you're going to feel the weight of this thing start to get heavy. That's what the meat hook's for. And right here, we're just going to just cut as close as you can. Get all that meat. All good stuff here. There it is. While I'm here and I got this in my face, I go ahead and start doing a little scavenging. Little chunks of meat for the grinder that are still good that I might have missed. Some shank meat, get some of that off of there. I call this the crow cuts. Most of this gets left out in the field, or you know, some people may skin the ribs out, but I like to cook them. I'll show you how I get them off of there. Anyway, you get the gist. Anything that isn't too fatty, go ahead and peel it off there. But we've got that down into the hip pretty good. And you can come inside of that hip bone right here, carve out a nice chunk of grind meat or whatever, right in behind where we had to cut out. Right there, a couple of good chunks. A buddy of mine used to, when I was done back in the day, I was a little more wasteful. And he'd come in and he'd pick all this off and make fajitas out of it, and it was fantastic. So I start paying a little more attention now. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and hit these ribs. This flank still looks pretty good. We can grind it. Ribs. A lot of people don't eat deer ribs. I don't know why. They're pretty darn good. This one's got a bullet hole in it, but this is what I do. Get my Raptor saw. And just go right beside here. Oh no, oh no, oh no. The broken spine got me. Oh man. Alright, well, let's see. I think I got a plan here. the old Raptor Razor meat hook. Alright. See if this works. Going to go in right here beside our rib cut, or our backstrap cut, and start to cut the ribs. You got a rack of ribs. Anyway, there you go. That's the Raptor Razor saves me again. That's how I process my deer. I'll stick it all in the icebox, let it keep cooling for a couple days, and then I'll show you how I break down every piece on the next video.